Aquest estiu, viu el grec.
Bé, bon dia. Seguim amb aquestes presentacions, rodes de premsa del Festival Grec. I avui segurament és un projecte que és complex d'explicar i per això tinc aquí que m'acompanyen, a part de l'artista, el Rabih, que ha arribat també l'Elvira del MACBA, de la Filmoteca, i ens falta el comissari, el Pablo, que ve de Madrid, està a Sants i ha d'arribar en qualsevol moment, però començarem sense ell. Una mica perquè jo vaig començar enamorant-me de... De fet, el Rabih, la primera vegada que el vaig veure a la seva obra va ser la Documenta de Kassel. Vaig descobrir el seu treball a Documenta, que evidentment és un espai d'arts visuals, i el coneixia com a artista visual. Vaig descobrir després el seu treball com a director de teatre i també més tard les seves pel·lícules. Per tant, vaig pensar, una persona tan polièdrica, com podem presentar-la en un festival com el Grec, no? I potser la part bonica de ser director de festival és que et permet connectar diferents institucions de la ciutat per explicar aquesta personalitat polièdrica tan rica i tan interessant, que jo no seré capaç d'explicar, per això tinc aquí el comissari que no ha arribat, que m'ajudarà, i ell mateix, però que sí que d'alguna forma és una veu, considero molt important ara mateix, jo diria, dins de les arts visuals segur. El Pablo, que és el comissari, de fet li van fer una retrospectiva a K2M a Madrid i ell va formar part d'aquesta retrospectiva, que en aquell cas sí que era més com a artista visual, videogràfic, etc. Però crec que tenim una oportunitat única a Barcelona de veure aquestes diferents cares d'aquesta veu, com deia, tan rellevant dins del món artístic d'avui en dia. Falta també aquí el Fabra i Coats, o sigui que també hi haurà uns tallers que donarà Can Mamell a Fabra i Coats, però clar, totes aquestes institucions per intentar acostar-nos una miqueta a la veu del Rabih em sembla que és una oportunitat que Barcelona no hauria de desaprofitar perquè em sembla que val la pena escoltar i entendre el que ens hagi de dir. Welcome. I don't know where to start.
Thank you so much.
There is a description of what you're doing, just a short description. You are presenting a piece at Teatre Lliure, which is an old piece, Riding on a Clown. You've made new pieces, also now recently in BD, in other places, so you are creating nowadays. But we thought, since it was the first presentation in Barcelona, we thought that for your theatre pieces, it was good to bring an old piece. At the same time, you are presenting several films at Filmoteca, from different parts of your time. And since as an excuse you have one of your works at MACBA, we are also doing this conference performance at MACBA as well as Filmoteca. So the program is complex and I don't know where do you want to start?
I start from Barcelona and Grec Festival. Really, I'm so honored to be here with this amazing program, which it will show a lot of my works, how I work, and especially this genre that I'm doing, which I call non-academic lectures, and in relation to theater as well, because Riding on a Cloud is a theater piece. And I'm showing two non-academic lectures, and the audience will have the chance to see the two formats, which look almost similar, but they are not similar in the concept and the form. One belongs to the theater world and one to the lecture and the academic. And I will be so happy also to meet with participants from Barcelona and the region who will participate in the workshops that I'm going to do, where the workshops are related mainly about some concepts that I used to work with my partner Lina Majdalani in theater mainly. And they are related to the war, which the period that we lived in Lebanon, our adolescence, 1975 till 1990. So it's related to this period, which is still actually suffering from it till today.
We keep you very busy.
And there will be a film also like Je veux voir with the filmmakers Khalil Jurej and Joanna Haji Thomas with Catherine Deneuve that we will show in Filmateca also, which also covered like another period of the wars, like a lot of wars. We're still living in this.
No, bona tarda i moltes gràcies per, sobretot per, com deies tu, no, Francesc? Oh, sorry, I'll speak in English, it's okay. No, I say thank you so much to Greg for always thinking of MACBA to possible collaboration. And I feel like, as you were saying, Cesc, that there is something in your practice, Rabih, that has need that sense of transdisciplinarity, right? Like we were, when we say hello, we were talking about Scala Luan and the impact of certain spaces in the making of social fabric, but also the cultural, political fabric of a place, no? And it feels to me that what you're trying to bring here, and that's why you said I start with Barcelona, in a way is also bringing Barcelona through some aspect of your practice together, no? So, and I wonder how it is for you when you work in different contexts, how much you feel the work can relate to the communities that it encounter, but also how also both the community, the city, and the world are transformed by that gathering.
So thank you so much for this question. Actually, it's very important for me to come and share with the people and the audience and friends my work and my thoughts. So even in the workshop, I'm going to share my thoughts. So I'm not here to teach and to give information about our history to the audience in Barcelona. And also I'm not here also to get learned also. Of course, this sharing, I will learn a lot, but I mean like with this position of teaching and learning, it makes like a kind of hierarchy. And so this is like something that I try to avoid, and I want all the time to share. And this means that when I come here with my heavy history, and I guess also in Barcelona and in Spain and everywhere in the world, like they have all heavy history. So when I come here, I don't try to simplify my history to foreigner audience, whoever this audience. So no, I insist to come with the complexity of our history without simplifying anything. And I'm sure that people, even if they don't know the history of my country and the region of the country, which is the Middle East, they can understand very well and make associations with own history and own histories with us as well. And this is very important, to keep this complexity and this difficulties, and not to simplify our history, either it's the personal or the collective or whatever, into like white and black, evil, good, etc. I think our personal life is much more complex and we have to keep it.
De fet, ell ens parla del Líban, però també ens parla de moltes coses més, de la humanitat, etc., d'una forma de mirar el món. A nivell més descriptiu, a la Filmoteca, explica'ns què veurem. Hi ha algunes pel·lícules més, diguem-ne, mainstream, però també hi ha uns treballs més performàtics, com deia ell. Quines són les accions, les coses que veurem a la Filmoteca?
Bueno, abans que res, gràcies per comptar amb la Filmoteca un any més per formar part del Festival Grec, i aquest any amb altres col·laboradores, amb el MACBA, amb Fabra i Coats. Sempre havíem treballat més en base a retrospectives de cineastes, purament cineastes, o que s'autodenominen com a tal, i aquest any ens feia, quan ens vas dir que venia el Rabih Mroué, de seguida vam dir, ostres, això s'ha de presentar també a la Filmoteca, i hem de donar a conèixer les seves diferents vessants. Sí, perdona.
Gràcies.
Les diferents vessants com a creador, sempre vinculades a això, a una reflexió sobre les imatges. Llavors hem escollit fer aquest, juntament amb el Pablo i amb tu, aquest cicle que té 3 potes. Per una banda, avui començarem amb lectura no acadèmica, com diu el Rabih Mroué, que es diu Make Me Stop Smoking, i serà també el punt de partida d'aquest programa que després seguirà a la ciutat al llarg de força dies. Després demà fem una sessió on es podran veure algunes peces curtes dirigides pel Rabih Mroué, que s'ha titulat Shooting Images, amb aquest joc de paraules entre disparar, shooting images en català, disparar imatges. I després, aquest cap de setmana, es podrà veure una pel·lícula meravellosa que aquí es va estrenar en el seu moment en sales, però es va veure poquíssim. Jo recordo que vaig anar al cine i va durar potser unes setmanes del 2008 o 2008, exacte, que es diu Je vous voir. És una pel·lícula dirigida per la Joanna Hagi Thomas i el Khalil Joreige, no sé si ho pronuncio bé, i on el David actua al costat de la Catherine Deneuve. La Catherine Deneuve es dirigeix al Líban després de la guerra i el Khalil Joreige, el Rabih Mroué, la guia en un viatge amb cotxe a través de les ruïnes, on es poden veure les empremtes que la guerra ha deixat en el paisatge, i a partir d'aquí s'elabora tota una reflexió de manera molt subtil i també molt complexa que permet pensar les relacions entre el cinema i la història, la representació del conflicte, no em vull allargar, però és una pel·lícula interessantíssima que jo crec que completa molt bé aquest panorama que oferim a Barcelona sobre el treball del Rabih.
I l'obra de teatre que veurem al Lliure, the theatre play that we see at Lliure, continuing this line, is a play where you are not in the play, but your brother. And it's also somehow the consequences of war in a way, or how to overcome the consequences of war, maybe.
So, Riding on a Cloud is a very sensitive and personal theater piece and a story, because it tells the story of my brother who had a bullet during the war, and he survived it. So like the problematic is like, hi Pablo. So the problematic was like how to tell this story without getting into the pathos, or like being asking for pity, or like even like to tell that he overcome this situation. So it was very sensitive how to deal with this topic, and to bring it from the level of talking about the horror and the tragedy of the story into a level of being more philosophical and poetic, and about reflecting about the topic. So the main issue is revolving around two ideas. It's his relation to language, because this is how to speak is, he lost the ability to speak when he was 17 years old because of the bullet. How he managed to be a poet first, and the second one, his relation to representation. And this is both of them are very strongly linked to theater, which is the medium we are working with. So it's questioning theater, how we do theater, what is theater, and it goes to this very also complex question, how to do representation, especially if the character coincides with the personality of the actor. What does it mean? And is he still an actor or not? He is real on stage as a person or not? These are questions very interesting. I keep them open without like conclusion, without answering, but I insist that what people will come to see is a theater piece. It's not a documentary.
No, it's not. You have other activities that show different sides of you. And the only activity that we described, Elvira, is also the lecture at MACBA.
Yes, yes. And in a way it has to do with some of the elements, no? Sun in the Eyes is a conference performance that is going to take place on the 14th of July at MACBA, our auditorium, and it's going to be followed by a conversation that you will have with Maria Berrios, who is our Director of Research and in research and curatorial and research, and it also shows a thread in your practice, which is research, right? Research make practices, the way in which those materials that it has been used in war or to let's say, captivate and galvanize youngers into a certain idea of propaganda that somehow comes to define state and nation. And I don't know, maybe you can tell us more about the use of that and how it affects some of the, how the work, no, Sun in the Eyes. Do you want us, I was thinking as I was considering it, no, how you feel, particularly in this moment, no, the legacy of a work like that. No?
So, Sand in the Eyes is a non-academic lecture. It's mainly trying to question the propaganda clips that we found on the net, and they are available, entre guillemets, for everybody. So the question first, like what we are allowed to see and what we are not allowed to see, what is forbidden, what is not forbidden. And I talk specifically about two sorts of videos, and I will not show them during the show, but I talk about them. One is the videos of ISIS, where there is a decapitating, beheading, which in principle are forbidden to be seen by people, which I agree as well. And the other sort of videos are the drone videos from those who are fighting ISIS, actually war on terrorism, that these videos also document the killing, but these videos you can find on the internet, but they are allowed to watch. So it's this question, what is allowed, what is not allowed. And in addition to this is our responsibility as spectators, as citizens, as people, when we watch. What is our responsibility? Also, we are not minor people, like we are not child, like to be also told what we should see, what we should not, like parents, the authorities, like parents dealing with their children, like, oh, this is not good. This. No, actually, we are also mature, and we also know what we have to see, what we should not to see, why, and how, etc. And the most important, the question is, what is our responsibility?
There is something that you also say when you talk about that work, which is about what the word tells us about the people that made it. Right? Like what the word is saying about the people that had created those specific videos, that's specific propaganda, right? It's not only how we spectators, you say, you know, this or that, but also the generators of this image-making work, who are they? What is they? What are they behind that? No? I feel that's such an important key.
Yeah, of course, I try to deconstruct, to analyze these images and who stands behind them, and trying like to put the background of them, yeah.
I switch to Spanish. Bueno, doy la bienvenida a Pablo. Pablo, bueno, yo creo que nos hemos hecho una idea. Cuando yo empecé, digo, quiero presentar a Rabih, me metí, digo, no puedo. Es muy complejo, I need help. Entonces llamamos a Pablo para que me ayudara a dar un poco de sentido a algo que no le llamaremos retrospectiva, pero sí complejidad, o mostrar una complejidad. Ahí me ayudaste. No sabes lo que hemos dicho porque llegas del tren, retrasos de Renfe, ya lo sabemos, pero la pregunta es, ¿quién es Rabih Mroué? Tú lo sabes.
Okay. So,
hemos hecho una descripción de actividades hasta ahora, pero sí que creo que nos hace falta que nos expliques quién es Rabih.
Ok. Ho faré en castellà, en català o en anglès?
Si
en català. Abans de tot, disculpeu perquè estic aquí en una mica de retard. Jo estic molt agraït al Grec i a Cesc per convidar-me a treballar una vegada més amb el Rabih Mroué, que per mi és un dels artistes més rellevants de la nostra època, no només per els temes que toca, que crec que no només parlen de del Líbano o de l'Orient Pròxim o d'aquests conflictes, sinó que podem aprendre moltes coses de com ell s'apropa a aquests temes que avui són una realitat al nostre país, per exemple. La idea de la publicitat o la propaganda política o aquestes coses que acaba de dir. Per mi el seu treball és també fonamental per la forma. Jo crec que el seu treball és teatre, però també està en les arts visuals, perquè la imatge és central en el seu treball. I per mi, que vinc del camp de les arts visuals, la seva manera d'apropar-se a les imatges, de treballar amb les imatges d'una manera performativa, qual és l'agència? Les imatges no són només una representació de les coses. Nosaltres habitem les imatges i les imatges fem coses a nosaltres i també fem coses als nostres afectes i cossos, però també ens fan fer coses. I jo crec que això és central en el seu treball, el treball de les imatges. També la relació entre imatge i text. Per mi, això, la paraula, la centralitat de la paraula, és una cosa que porta del teatre, però que és molt important també a les arts visuals i també la relació, la connexió entre les imatges i les paraules. Per mi és central en el seu treball la relació entre imatges, paraules i cossos. Són un triangle que és central en tota la seva experimentació i crec que és una de les poques figures que podria fer una representació al lliure, estar al MACBA, com està la col·lecció, en Phase A i Phase B, que podrem veure a la Filmoteca, fer una non-academic lecture, jo crec que és molt interessant com l'anomena non-academic lecture, és no només performativa, una conferència performativa, sinó que ell comença a parlar de no acadèmica en un moment que l'acadèmia està prenent la recerca artística al voltant dels 2000, i jo crec que això és molt interessant, com intenta en aquestes conferències no demostrar coses, sinó mostrar-les en una manera quasi barbariana de posar coses, una cosa al voltant de l'altra, i després fer un cicle de cinema o un cicle de vídeo o videocreacions a la Filmoteca. També, no només amb 5 curtmetratges o videocreacions, podríem dir, 5 curts, però també el seu paper com a actor en aquesta pel·lícula que jo crec que ja és un clàssic del cinema independent, com és Je vais voir, quan Catherine Deneuve arriba al Líbano, al Beirut, i emprès un viatge amb Rabih Mroué per veure el paisatge libanès que ha perdut algun sentit després de la guerra, i aquesta confrontació de l'estranger, que també jo crec que no és una pel·lícula de Rabih, perquè ell fa d'intèrprete, però té moltes connexions amb el seu treball, quan ell parla de Ici et ailleurs de Godard, i tota la influència del cinema o de la nouvelle vague francesa, i tota l'experimentació en Hiroshima, Mon Amour, el Je veux voir, està totalment en relació amb aquesta pel·lícula, en aquestes pel·lícules. I jo crec que aquesta és també una cosa que per a mi és molt important en el treball de Rabih, és la seva connexió entre el I i el we, entre el jo mateix i el nosaltres. Ell parla de la seva experiència, però sempre és una experiència feta col·lectiva, i això és molt important. I jo crec que en Espanya el seu treball, quan le van convidar al K2M fa una dècada, va ser al voltant o en relació al 15M, i què passava en la primavera àrabe, i què passava amb el jo, i quan està en la multitud, quan està al mig de la massa. I jo crec que aquesta és central. També avui el parlar entre el jo i el nosaltres en dies com aquest en Espanya o en Catalunya.
Molt bé, moltes gràcies. Jo només vull afegir, en tot cas, com a festival, que per mi sempre era important tenir també sempre un artista que representés la veu del Mediterrani o de països àrabs, que sempre intento que hi hagi en el festival algun artista que ens porti aquesta veu, perquè si no considero que no seria un festival internacional I en aquest cas, doncs, jo no sé, heu vist que el discurs és complex per nosaltres, no sé què haureu rebut com a premsa, si hi ha alguna pregunta que us surti i si voleu que aclarim algun aspecte més d'alguna activitat o algun aspecte... Però si no haureu d'anar a veure diverses coses per captar la personalitat. Però si hi ha algun tema que potser hagi quedat prou poc clar, crec que el calendari d'activitats està ben explicat. També em sembla que com a grec no havíem fet mai una polifonia d'activitats d'aquest tipus i estic molt content de la col·laboració amb les institucions de Barcelona. Estic realment orgullós de...
No sé si has comentat, hem oblidat el taller
a Can Mamella, sí.
Jo no...
Sí, el que no he explicat molt el taller en què consistia, perquè potser és un taller tancat, és un taller tancat amb més gent de l'àmbit d'artistes visuals, però bueno, no s'hi poden apuntar, però si volen ens hi farem un lloc.
Sí, jo volia fer un apunt referent a l'actualitat, no? O sigui, ara mateix, jo no sé quan va ser l'última vegada que ella va estar al Líban, però com veu la situació en el seu país?
Oh, it's terrible. The situation in Lebanon is really very bad. The country since at least 2019, the so-called revolution or the uprising that happened in October, and the country is going through a very severe crisis in all levels. But the most terrible one is the economical and stealing money, the money of the people. That all the banking system, with the help and the alliance of the state itself, actually they managed to steal all the money of the people and confiscate them, and the currency it went really very, very down. So it's really the basics needs of the daily life is not easy to get, especially electricity and water. So it's really very, very bad situation, and there is a crisis, political crisis, all the official institutions, the governmental institutions are collapsing because of all the situations, and also we are almost 9 months already without the president, because they cannot manage to choose, not to elect, to choose a president. Because actually it's elected by the parliament, not by the people, and the parliament doesn't manage to do any laws or anything, because their job now just to elect a president, and they cannot manage to do it. And the government also is not a government, because it's just it's a resigned government waiting for the other president and the new prime minister to come to make the cabinet anew. So you see, everything is between collapsing and on hold, and honestly, every other day we say there's no worse than this, and then coming more. It's a crisis without a bottom, it's a bottomless thing, crisis.
¿Y qué piensa de la actitud de Europa frente a su país?
Yeah, I think now, since many years, but let's say the last 3, 4, 5 years, the international committee and the superpower countries, they lost interest in Lebanon. So Europe as well, they lost interest in Europe. And there is France, sometimes they try to play a role.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's a very bad way how to deal with this. And how they deal, especially the president of France, is really, trying to deal with the same corrupted I don't know how to describe them, criminals as well. Like he tries to collaborate with them, like to make a deal with them, even that the people should get rid of those. So everything is like shifted to somewhere else. Like of course, like there is the crisis in Syria, the war there, and this international involvement and engagement physically and also politically there. And with the Ukraine war, also another factor. And we should not forget, like also we passed 2 years with the pandemic, which also get the attention far from everything. But like we see that now Lebanon is out of the focus of anybody's, and we wait for a miracle, which will never happen, or a meteor that come and it.
El seu treball es presenta molt per Europa, el seu treball sobretot teatral. No sé a nivell d'arts visuals, vosaltres sabeu més que jo, però el seu treball teatral està present a molts festivals, a molts teatres. Sé que l'última producció es va fer a Vidi, Lausanne, també he estat a Montpellier, París, vull dir que realment també la seva obra escènica. Jo no sé si se li ha fet cap altra retrospectiva després del K2M.
Sí, jo crec que ha tingut una recentment, no?
Micro.
Sí, no? La teva, your last exhibition or your last exhibition of your work in a museum or in an art gallery was in France, not this year, or publications?
The last
Fabrication?
Yeah, exactly.
Where exactly?
There was one in Antwerp, it's very recently, in Extra City, and there one in Berlin in the Kunstwerke, also the last. But just I want to say something just related to what I was saying, like paradoxically, like I'm now showing in this focus, like different works. Like I will show a work like tonight actually. It is from 2006. Yeah. And we will show like the film from 2008. And there are like videos, short videos from 2000 and 2002 and 2013, Riding on a Cloud, and Sand in the Ice 2017. So it's like a long period, and paradoxically, the problems are still there, the same problems, but like going more and more decayed and rotten, and that's, I don't know till when I will keep on presenting these pieces and still talking about our present time. Yeah. It's very weird. I have to say, like, the question should be the other way around. Did I accept to do this? Because he asked me to do this, and it took me a really long time to accept doing this piece because it's very, very personal and very, very sensitive, and I was really scared to do such kind of work because, as I said, it's very, in a way, there is a tragedy in this story, and I don't want to represent this on stage. I want to shift it to another level, and it's not easy. And moreover, when I accepted to do this work, to work with him, he gave me everything belongs to him, like everything, like all his stories, or his pictures, everything, objects, and he gave it to me, and it was like the first time I have like this big archive in addition to our life together, because he's my brother. We lived. So I have all this between my hands to work on them, and seriously, I felt like all the time I'm like holding a bomb, and I don't want this bomb to explode in my face, like, or on our faces, like both. So it was like very sensitive how to deal with this topic, And I think we made it. We made it. And like this work, it's still, since 2013, it's still till today, he's still traveling and doing this work. And he is asking me to do another work with him. And I don't know what to do. It's like, maybe I say yes.
Bé, potser dir que els recursos utilitzats són inversament proporcionals a l'emoció que genera, perquè és un espai que genera una emoció enorme, molt bonica, i una mica el que dèiem també, utilitza molt pocs recursos, molt elementals, però el pensament i l'emoció que genera els seus treballs és profundíssim.
Thank you.
No vull que m'expliqui, o sigui, ja m'imagino una mica de què va l'obra, perquè ja està molt ben explicat, però, clar, el seu germà, com ha pogut desenvolupar la seva vida? Que ens expliqui una mica, bàsicament, el que vull saber és, ha pogut desenvolupar una vida normal després del que li va passar? Quin tipus de normalitat? Perquè les imatges se'l veu molt bé.
No sé si